Welcome everyone to the Nottaku Podcast.
You sounded so defeated.
What?
Yes, welcome everybody. Oh,
here we are.
Here we are again. It's the shittier Portal 2 song.
I would argue that, and then I went, hang on, wait, he's right.
Yeah, no, it is the shittier Portal 2 song. Hello, hello, viewers and/or listeners and/or listener, more than likely.
It was simply a triumph.
Yeah, go on. Which one of us listened to the last podcast? Come on, let's be honest. I want to say
to be fair, listened
you?
to it while marking papers.
Did you? Hello, future Hugh. Hopefully the
I won't listen to this one.
Nice and you won't. Okay,
no,
that's fair enough.
I listened to the last one because I had nothing else to do.
That's fair enough.
I listened to the last one probably about 3 times all the way through because I had to edit it.
Oh, that'll explain the 3 people that listen to it.
Yeah, that explains it. I hope Last Remaining Fan is listening to this. We are doing one of our typical, extremely random. We're going to let you talk about anything that is related to anime as long as it is not particularly on topic. We've not really brought much for today. It'll be a good laugh, and later on will be used as evidence against at least 2 of us in a court of law.
Oh, yeah, all right.
At least.
I was going to say, well, trust me, boy, me and Lewis have got something special.
There we go.
Well, so who's on this podcast?
Who is on this podcast? Do we go down? Go on then, Hugh. Go on.
All right, I'm Hugh. I'm this podcast's equivalent of the 408 to Doncaster, in that I'm late and only nerds with a very specific niche care about me.
Fuck off! I didn't get that joke! If I'm not getting that joke!
I thought it was a good joke! Do you want me to make more train-based jokes? Because I can make many jokes.
Really?
All right.
No one likes the train.
I'm the podcast equivalent of the Thomas the Tank Engine books, in that I've spent a significant amount of time with reverence from the East Midlands.
No, again, also shit.
You just don't get the Thomas the Tank Engine references.
Nobody from the East Midlands likes our podcast.
Fuck's
Let's
sake.
just move on. Next person.
Yeah, who's the next guy?
I'm Ben. I'm the podcast equivalent of Henry from Thomas the Tank Engine. In that none of you really remember me or what colour I am.
You were green.
I want to go with green. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sweet.
Guess we got the expert. Hi, I'm Joe, and I'm the podcast equivalent of Warcraft 3 Reforged. I made a bunch of promises, didn't follow up, and now everyone's trying to give me back.
Joe, that wasn't a Thomas the Tank.
I was about to say, are we not doing Thomas the Tank?
Fine, I'm the podcast equivalent of the Fat Controller. Totally irrelevant.
There we go. He wasn't irrelevant.
I thought you were going to say a Winston Churchill impersonator.
I wouldn't put it up on my list of impressions. I've got a few, but that's not one of them.
What, the Fat Controller?
Yes.
Who are you then?
Hello, I'm Lewis. I'm also the podcast equivalent of the Fat Controller. I laugh at you and call you wrong. I'm the physical embodiment of capitalism. I hate trains, and above all else, I have got £200 worth of cock.
I thought you were going to say, above all else, I always wear a hat. And I don't know why my brain went there.
You've got like the most like what the fuck? Why is turning 25? Happy birthday! Fucking like. Why is that mellowed you out? Like, why are you suddenly telling these really quaint jokes?
Because, Lewis, I'm holding all of my weird humour to the final part where this document is placed in the court hearing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've got to make myself sound nice before I go. So anyway, vagina-shaped meat.
Whoa, easy, Tiger, easy.
No, I'm not.
We've got to introduce Alan. Why are you calling Alistair vagina-shaped?
Anyway, the host.
Since you guys started this thing, I guess I'll have to finish with it. I'm Alistair. I'm the podcast equivalent of modern Thomas the Tank Engine drowning in PC madness. Yes, I'm a computer with a virus.
What?
Oh, I get it. PC madness. There we go. Quite like.
I mean,
are
you literally trying to claim that Thomas the Tank Engine, a show for children, is? I'm not having this conversation.
Thomas the Tank Engine has come out, and it's there with its strong political statement.
Apparently, Alistair's annoyed that Thomas the Tank Engine's got women in it now.
And so And so as Thomas went up to the Eurotunnel, he realised it was bricked up. He blamed the Polish cunts round the corner.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
the thing. No, I just keep seeing because there's loads of people online who keep saying all of this like.
Who is saying this online?
Thomas the Tank Engine fandom, Joe!
Thomas the Tank Engine fan base on 4chan.
You got to get on this, Joe.
Come on.
Right.
This is not a train I want to get on, thank you.
The thing is, every single time I see anybody complain about something being too PC online, I always immediately think, what personal computer? My mind goes straight to personal computer.
All right. To be fair, guys, right? Okay, right. Genno Ibuchi makes anime. We agree on this, right?
What?
Oh, yeah, hang on. Can we? No, hang on. I'm going somewhere with this.
I know where he's going with this. Do continue.
Okay. All right. Do we agree Genno Ibuchi makes anime?
Yeah.
To
Among
an
other things,
extent.
yes.
Do we have consent here? Yeah, there we can just go with it. It'll be fine. That means
Okay.
Thunderbolt Fantasy is an anime, which is
Yep.
stop motion animation. Therefore, Thomas the Tank
Thomas the
Engine
Tank
is a
Engine
kind of anime. So we're actually on topic.
I remember the film Thomas and the Secret Railway. Well, Railway.
Was
Is that how you pronounce
Was
it?
that a private screening with your uncle?
Now we'd like to introduce our secret guest host, Jonathan Ross.
All right. Speaking of things,
Jonathan was.
Willie Flodger.
speaking of things that begin with a W, I saw Weathering of You this week.
It was pretty shit.
You haven't seen it.
I know, but I can tell you already.
All right. So, has anyone else in the podcast seen Weathering of You?
No.
If it's not got
No.
trades in it, I don't want to know.
It's got a few traits in it, to be fair.
It was used as the advert for Japan Rail when we were in Japan.
It was.
That wasn't as well.
It
Oh,
was.
that what that was.
Everywhere.
Okay.
So, I went and saw Weathering with You on last Thursday, because last Thursday was when it was showing in my local cinema. I have made a little Photoshop. Alistair, I'm talking to you in the future here for when you read over this and you have to absolutely put the Photoshop in or take this bit out. This is my Photoshop, which I believe perfectly encapsulates
It's alright.
Mikoto Shinkai's problems with Weathering with You, which is that he was suffering from the success of Your Name. Your Name was really, really good. I think we can all admit that Your Name was a very good motion picture. It may have had its issues, but overall, it was very enjoyable. It actually had a message to tell, and it essentially changed the way that a lot of people viewed anime movies. I think we can agree with that, yeah?
I clapped when I saw it.
Yeah.
No, it was a decent watch, yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
we had a chat about this. It mainly advanced visual and auditory techniques. It wasn't the most groundbreaking story, but yeah, it had nice presentation.
No, exactly. And so it pushed forward with that sort of thing. Now, as a result, I feel that Makoto Shinkai, when he went to make Weathering with You, he had the major issue that he was having to follow up what is the biggest film in Japanese cinema ever. And so he sat down and he thought about what were the three things that people actually remembered Your Name for. Which people remembered it for the visuals, they remembered it for the comedy, and they remembered it for the characters. And so he tried to put those in, but the problem is he managed to put them in a very weird order and forgot exactly what made Your Name special. So Your Name had three major parts, and they were split up very, very well. They had the first third, which was comedy.
An act, if you
an act. The first act was comedy, the second act was drama, and the third act was spectacle. And it showed really well because the story flowed with those three topics, essentially. Which meant that whenever you went into the next act, you were prepared to what you were actually going to see. Makoto Shinkai didn't realize he'd done this, despite the fact he did this. And with Weathering with You, he takes all three of those concepts and he just throws them into a bucket and mixes them around and forgets to make any logical order for it. So I'm not going to spoil the story because I feel like it's sort of the sort of thing that you should watch to see kind of exactly what happened. But I will say the bit that made me essentially piece out the movie officially was when the main character and a lot of policemen were having a nice armed shoot-off. Yes, that happens in the movie.
Wait, what?
And and a boy in a dress runs in and tackles one of the police officers. And I thought to myself, this is tonally screwed.
Now listen. It's very important to remember. Okay, so to answer Ben's question, they're having a serious action moment. That's what we care about. But lest we forget, as we know, the Japanese men dressed up as women is the single funniest goddamn thing in the world.
And the problem is, it just completely took me out of it. And you know what the really depressing thing is?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't actually get why that took you out of the scene.
Because the scene was a serious
shootout
with, it was like, in the film, it was the actual first time within the film I was truly properly invested. It was serious, it was intense, it was dramatical, and then a guy wearing a dress runs in. It's played for comedy. No.
It's played for comedy. Okay,
it's played for comedy. It's not the character is a cross-dresser. It's the character has broken out of prison by dressing up as a woman and has now appeared.
Oh, okay. See, I thought when you said it, I was like, I don't get the problem, because I assumed it was a cross-dressing character and it was actually addressing that social thing.
Yeah, we have nothing wrong with people cross-dressing.
No, absolutely not.
No, it's a classic case where people try and mix up tone and intonation, and comedy and drama and horror don't mix that well. Check out my blog for more details. And
shilling.
No, we are literally on a podcast. I'm shilling. And it's a classic case where they went to the cocaine bucket, they got very excited, they did Your Name, they ran out of cocaine, and they assumed they could do it again. And by the sounds of it, they didn't.
The other major issue was that Your Name was sold itself so well on its visuals. I think the thing that I remember from Your Name most is its visuals. This decided to do visuals again, but instead of doing what Your Name did, which was use the visuals to punctuate plot points, this just has pretty visuals for the sake of pretty visuals, which meant that every so often, like every 5 or 10 minutes, it stopped the movie and went, isn't this a really pretty sky shot? And I'm like, yep, what does it have to do with the movie? And then it just continued on completely unabated. Which meant that when the final couple of scenes come in where there's actual really pretty sky shots and you're supposed to actually be really impressed, I had seen it for the last hour and 20 minutes, which meant that I didn't care. I had lost all interest in the spectacle because I'd seen too much of the spectacle. The equivalent of bringing on your final act in like a big circus event after you've already continuously shown major over-the-top acts. And then they're like, and now the fire eater. And it's like, well, I've already seen a guy tame a lion. I've already seen a guy, tightrope walk. I've already seen a guy do the trapeze. Why do I care about a guy that's now breathing fire? Like, I've seen it all already.
Yeah, if I remember correctly from Your Name, the most visually impressive scenes that I can remember are all in the final act of the movie.
Yeah, in the sort of dreamy fucking spirit journeys.
Act 3 was the inspiring section. It was comedy, drama, inspiration. It was the inspiring section. This gets mixed up. Now, I will say, Weathering with You is not a complete waste of time. I still really, really like the character interactions. I think that's the thing that Makoto Shinkai gets correct every single time, is his character interactions are definitely on point. And I will say the entire thing is animated and does look gorgeous. It is just not a particularly good movie when it comes down to its plot or its tone. They are really lacking. If you can go and watch Your Name, I would say go for it. Take an hour and 50 minutes to watch the movie. It's worth it to watch it once. However, if you contact me and go, hey, would you like to go and see Weathering with You again? I'd be like, nah, I'm all right.
I'll be like, how did you get this number?
Yeah, I'll be like, who are you? I'm all right, thank you. And that's kind of the issue, because I walked away from Your Name. Not Your Name, sorry, Weathering with You.
You've done that twice.
I know. It's because I want to watch a better movie. I walked away from Weathering with You, and I was sat in the car driving home, and I went, I think my initial response was, that was all right. That was all right. And then the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I realized, oh my word, I didn't like that movie. Like, I actually managed to talk myself out of liking the film.
Yay! Welcome to my life!
I liked that, and then 20 minutes later, sitting at a level crossing, my brain was going, hang on a minute, that wasn't very good. And genuinely, that's why I think my Photoshop is like the very specific point here. I generally do think that Makoto Shinkai was suffering from Your Name's success.
Well, it does happen a lot with a lot of media and stuff. If you have somebody who has like, that's why you get a lot of one-hit wonders, because people, they haven't been very successful. They get one big success and then they think, oh, this was successful because I did this. Let me just do more of it, and not actually, think about actually why it worked. And people just seem to do this thing of, let's just do more of, when actually more of doesn't necessarily mean better.
I'd argue it's not even more of. I'd argue it's just the same amount as Your Name, but just in the wrong order. Because I realized, again, while thinking about the plot, that the plot is basically beat for beat the exact same as Your Name. Boy meets girl in slightly supernatural system. Boy meets girl and has fun with supernatural system. Something happens to girl, which means that cannot continue. Boy goes to save girl, reunite after time lapse. Literally, exactly the same kind of set of events that happens in Your Name happens in Weathering with You as well.
I will admit, the guy does seem to maybe only have a string to his bow of doing like slightly ethereal, like spectacles about people finding connections. Like, great.
Well, he knows how to write connections and he knows how to do visuals. So, like, platey and niche, but at the same time, maybe
be good at it.
Maybe talk to someone else about making a plot. Maybe go up to Gen Urobuchi and be like, "Hey, write me a plot."
And then around about the time where we're having people, using weather control to, fire skyscrapers up each other's assholes, at that point you go, Gen, please stop, and he'd say no. It's puppet drama.
Was that Just Cause 4?
Maybe. I don't know if it includes the puppet drama though, which is the key part to being Gen Urobuchi. So yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, all of Just Cause is puppet drama, considering that my character never takes damage, and you can like stop the momentum of going into the ground by gaining more momentum by going into the ground.
Oh yeah, quickly on another anime movie train-based show of mediocrity. Cabaneri's on movies have moved to Crunchyroll apparently, Hugh. So I figured you'd like that.
Yes, I have not actually. They're actually on Netflix as well. I haven't actually watched them yet because it was. Do you know what the depressing thing is?
Gee whiz, I wonder what
you weren't bothered.
I wonder what terrible animation there'll be now.
No, I plan to watch it with you two after we finish watching the Cabanera of the Iron Focus TV series, and then both of you didn't like it, and I was like, well, better watch it by myself, and I've not come around to it yet.
I'll happily watch a bad movie in company.
But I'll enjoy it's the problem.
But right, Johnny Imperialist has just appeared as the thing. I'm assuming is the bad guy for the rest of the. Is that his actual name?
Bieber, yes.
Bieber, yeah.
Oh yeah, the reason
right.
The reason I got the show, yeah.
B, Bane of Alistair, but.
Bane of Alistair, but. Got it, right.
Bane of Alistair.
Bieber. Oh my god, he's called Bieber. But yeah, I assume he's going to be the villain because he looks generic and that's what the show would do.
And he's got the really cool followers group, and everyone loves him.
He's got his mini boss troop.
Yeah, and he comes in. Goes,
oh my god, it is a video game, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, it's actually a video. I'd play that video game.
I'd also play that video game. To be fair, like it's a shame that the main character is an unlikable twat.
Yeah, what was his name again? Main character.
Asian.
Yeah, so you got your level 1 Ikra and level 50 Beaver, and that's literally
level 100 Carbonari.
Carbonara, indeed.
Yeah.
Level 200 pasta. Like,
oh my word!
Like I don't know. Well, I mean, I'd say I'll watch it, but like, fuck me, it's like okay, it's got a pretty good action scene in the first episode of Color, and it's shit.
I will also say my final thought on Weathering With You. It's not even thoughts on Weathering With You. Anime community. When we go to the cinema, can we make a pact to dress well, please?
To wear deodorant.
Oh no, you're asking too much.
Come on, please. Like,
mate, it's not anime community. It's the British anime community.
It's when I got out of the car and was starting to walk towards the cinema, and I could pick out the people that were going to go and see Weathering With You, and I'm like, please, just wear a shirt or something. Like,
what? They were going in naked?
No, it was like, I get they're comfortable, and I get they want to have fun, and I enjoy it. And you are literally sitting in a dark room, but at the same time, please, just for me, if you take nothing else out of this tiny little Weathering review, walk away with the belief that you should be wearing nice clothes, please.
No one in England watches this fucking podcast.
Well, that's because it's a an audio form.
Oh, but all that time spent on visuals, Hugh.
What visuals?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Ouch.
Or...
I will say, Hugh, the last time I went to the cinema to watch an anime movie, which was the Konosuba movie, I went in my mega mean jumper that I bought in Japan, which I thought was fitting.
Alistair, wear a shirt. Just, you're in the nicest possible way, mate. You're one of them. And I would be able to pick you out
my
of the
god,
crowd.
Hugh's just alienating himself
Who
further.
goes to the cinema in a shirt?
In a desperate
I'm not going
attempt
to the opera.
In a desperate attempt to salvage this before Hugh keeps insulting Alistair, I've just seen popped up on my feed, literally under the Discord chat, peeking out on Facebook feed, Castlevania Season 3 announced.
Yeah, that was announced ages ago.
All right, calm the fuck down. It's not like we're an anime podcast where we discuss anime news, you twat!
Yeah, it's over, Ben. Just shoot it in the head. Like that's not a topic anymore.
I mean, Castlevania, it literally said another season is coming.
It's coming out in March.
Oh, okay, that is different. Nice.
It's already been announced. So let's just pack up. So we don't have any original anime content to discuss.
All right. Question though: what are they going to actually do with Castlevania Season 3?
Aria of Sorrow.
It comes out on March 5th, and looking at the promo art, it's hunting down the woman, isn't it? From the last one.
Is that one of the games or is
Camilla.
it new?
Sorry, can I give a decent joke actually that I just thought of?
Yeah.
No.
It's alright. It's just the entire original series, but replaced with Richter instead.
Yeah.
little sympathy of the night joke for you all there.
Finally, that is a good one. I like.
Yeah,
that.
no, they'll probably follow on with the story. Is it Aria of Sorrow? We're hunting down Isaac Hector, and as you say, Carmilla.
Yeah, that's Isaac and Hector from a really weird 3D game.
Because I'll be honest, I've not played Castlevania, so I don't. Because I knew that the film was not the film, the anime series was based on Castlevania and Castlevania 2, I believe.
It's Symphony of the Night. Really, is the big inspiration, but like it's kind of a mix of all of them, really. Yeah. I don't know enough about it to like say with confidence.
Fair.
Oh, I was just saying, but I mean, it was, as I say, as we've said many times, it's bloody well done. I'm perfectly happy to see more of it, and it gives people an excuse, like The Witch has to, for more people to pick it up. I'm all for it, because we can get a resurgence of old style Castlevania games coming through. I am so happy with that. I'm
genuinely surprised we have not seen some kind of Sympathy in the Night re-release or remaster in the last couple of months.
We have. It's called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is was that done by the same company?
It was done by the same guy. What I mean is I don't mean like a reboot. What I mean is a literal remaster.
Well, they've been releasing all of them on Switch slowly.
Yeah, I'm just surprised we have not seen that, because that's the sort of thing that you feel like release that with the Castlevania TV series, that would sell.
Problem is, it's an intellectual property minefield, being Konami and people who have left Konami, and there would be huge problems with who owns what, which is probably why no one's bothering, which is a shame.
No, it's just the license for a lot of these kind of older video games is kind of being pulled out and kind of being thrown back into it, because we're getting lots of re-releases of just really random games recently.
Not wrong.
I mean, Warcraft 3, let's be honest, like, no one saw that
Please
coming.
don't mention that name.
No, fair enough.
That just hurts.
Warcraft 3 got re-released and it was awful.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. The thing.
I don't think it's that it was awful. It was just updated slightly. It was like a bit of paint, and they cut a bunch of content.
No, it's buggy as hell. It's broken.
Oh, is it actually?
It's awful. Blizzard has pissed off the community. Okay, so you know how Warcraft 3 has been... Mods of Warcraft 3 have been the basis of so many huge new game formats over the years.
I did not know that, no.
Dota, stuff like that.
Oh shit, really?
The MOBA basically expanded off of Warcraft 3.
Because of some new legislation that Blizzard have passed, any mods created that become big are still owned by Blizzard. The actual creators can't do anything with them. Everything is owned by Blizzard if it's made on that property. So it's completely stifled any chance of people making new stuff on it. No one even wants to go near it.
It's the Nintendo problem with intellectual properties. Of if you're too tight with your intellectual properties, people won't create a fan base around it.
Yeah, which is just a damn shame.
Well, it's an issue and it's a shame, but again, that goes into your issue around copyright and who actually owns it, because you can completely and totally see where Blizzard and Nintendo are coming from. Like, it literally is their intellectual property. I saw a lot of people getting really, really angry, pulling this back to anime slightly, when stuff like Pokemon Uranium got taken off the internet.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
Pokemon Uranium, Smash Bros, Project
Yeah,
M.
how dare you take these off? And I'm kind of sat there going, although I understand the anger based around it, at the same time, you are literally making a game based on someone else's intellectual property. And so, yeah, it would be expected if I turned up and started selling, Hue branded Coca-Cola, I would expect a cease and desist. And even if my Coca-Cola was really, really good, I would still be like, yeah, but, I am literally stealing like an intellectual property here.
You're right, Hugh, but there's a problem of hypocrisy there because nothing happened with the Peter version of Pokemon when they released the shitty rip-off of that.
I think the issue is they at that point didn't want to have to deal with a company, a group that had, lawyers.
So it's fine to stomp on those guys. I
do get the hypocrisy.
Why did Peter release a game based around animals being captured and fought against each other?
They parodied it.
I was Ben answering his own question in his question.
Oh, I'll just go back to the shame corner.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yes.
I'll bring you the water bowl later, boy.
Where's my absinthe?
You drank it all.
Oh no, shit. I'm pissing on myself.
Oh, finally. I don't get, when it comes down to things like Nintendo, why they are so tightly coiled with some of their stuff. Like, pretty much any Let's Play of a Nintendo property is still mired in some form of it might just get taken down.
It's the music that it gets taken down for.
Did anyone else see when Ubisoft copyright stroked themselves accidentally?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that I remember that a little while ago, yeah.
That's
problem with robots doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the major issue of robots doing it. This is why I like the Jim Sterling method of just making multiple people copyright strike it so no one gets the money.
Aha! That's quite good, actually.
It's the I think it's called the double deadlock. It's essentially when you watch a Jim Sterling video, you know how there's always videos from like random things. It's so that multiple companies claim it, and so none of the companies actually get revenue.
That is actually pretty good. I quite like that. That's a good loophole.
I quite like that. Yeah, it's something that's being used by quite a few people actually now. Anyway, that's not anime related.
It was tangential. I
mean, suppose.
Anime reviewers.
Speaking of other shows that have been announced for sequels, another show surprisingly got a sequel that I was never expecting it to get a sequel, and that's Log Horizon. When I saw that the other day, I was like,
"Wait,
what?"
It's a surprise. To quote the Palpatine meme, a surprise.
Oh.
Did Joe just die?
Joe just died there.
Joe is dead, but R.I.P.
Surprise was Joe dying.
To continue on Joe's legacy, as he is literally not speaking right now, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. I also have never seen Log Horizon. I hear it came out before Sword Art and is like the progenitor or something.
Well, you probably just heard the intro and avoided it because you thought it was programming.
Log Horizon's got nearly identical story, but it's actually got quite a subtle difference compared to Sword Art, which is where in Log Horizon you respawn. So it's less about.
So it's Sword Art Season 2.
Yeah, basically, where some guy fucking comes to your house and shoots you. But yeah,
dude, the new Call of Duty was weird.
Yeah, did you like that bit when fucking Soap broke into your fucking house, took you in his arms, and then you whispered to him Soap, and then he hit you with ice picks, like in the first.
Soap.
And then you slammed your dick in a pedal bit.
Soap, it's stuck again.
Soap.
But the ultimate contract. But no, like so Log Horizon basically lacks all of the peril of Sword Art Online because there's no actual like death condition. So it's just a bunch.
No, you lose your memories.
Oh, brilliant! Who fucking great Alzheimer's online. I don't care. Fucking like all that ends up happening is basically now a bunch of people farting around in a sort of online-esque MMO, and the whole thing revolves around author insert character who doesn't have friends, but he's a good tactician, and through that he makes friends, and then everyone wants to give him like their pussy. It's fine. It's fine. Like
that is unfortunate. That is an unfortunate issue, isn't it? When you've essentially got a game that doesn't have an anime that doesn't really have any kind of peril. It's like whenever they solve death, when it's like someone dies but immediately comes back, and you're like, oh cool, I no longer care about death.
Hey,
he's back.
Oh, he's alive!
Right, that was really annoying because I was able to talk through all of that. It just I could hear you guys, and it just wasn't picking me up at all. Like it had said that I was talking on my one, but nothing was apparently going through.
Oh, smashing!
That is a shame.
It's the curse. It's the curse of Palpatine.
The thing is with Log Horizon, Log Horizon's whole thing is it decided not to focus on a death gain aspect or anything like that. What Log Horizon does remarkably well is it does the transferring over the video game mechanics of the world. Like they put a lot more emphasis on the fact of the class system and item descriptions and what that actually means and what it actually means to if you make your character look different than you, and for example what happens to all the characters who play women and all of that sort of stuff.
When you said that and you were like they put a lot of emphasis on the class system, my mind just went, oh, so it was like 40s America.
Down with the bourgeoisie.
And then you went and they put and then you went on and it was like, and it really makes a difference when you choose like what color you are, and I'm like, oh, it really is 40s America.
Well, it's a pretty early point in the game that a lot of the low level characters do get enslaved by a guild at one point. So yes,
yeah.
Oh Jesus!
I think the only anime that I know that's ever done respawning particularly well was ReZero, and that's because it just leaned hard into the fact that it was PTSD inducing.
Yeah, it fucking shatters you.
That was just a side note, by the way.
It's perfect. Like they don't make during the first season of Log Horizon, they didn't make really a big deal out of it at all because the main characters, the main party, never actually die at all in the first season. It's not until the second one where they actually even start to explore it.
I've thought of another good one that does respawning well, in a way. Magica Magica.
Respawning.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, respawn.
Every single character in that dies multiple times over and gets brought back, and Homura has the PTSD because she's the only one that remembers.
Yeah, I will give you that. I wouldn't be surprised if that did in some way influence ReZero. Which I'd like to point out, I'm rewatching at the moment on because they're re-releasing the director's cut.
Oh, I saw that. What's the difference between what actually is cut from it?
Nothing's cut. They've made it longer.
Wait. So
if it's longer, then stuff was cut.
No. It's the exact same. Right, it's the exact same show.
No. I'm with you here. Wait. There's extra stuff. Stuff has not been removed. I think.
What was cut initially?
What was cut from the original?
Nothing.
Okay, right.
That's obviously that's what everyone means when you're asking about director's. Everyone knows that director's cut is the longer one.
Right, here's what they've basically done. They've just taken scenes and they've just made the shots longer. That's it. There's a shot of in the first episode, the shot of Amelia on the bridge talking to spirits, instead of being like 10 seconds, is now like 20.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm still enjoying it because they needed to have a 12 episode version of ReZero before the new season comes out.
They needed to have a 40-second clip staring at Rem's legs.
Well, it's because they've turned it into 12 1-hour-long episodes. Is basically what they've done.
Yeah, but the problem is, I get the feeling they could have just released it all again with just 2 episodes in one, and no one would complain. I don't get why they've done it, honestly.
Well, the thing is, because considering rewatching it, and I decided just not to, but
I might do.
It is completely worth rewatching. It's a nice 50 minutes every week where I get to sit back and remember, yep, there's a reason why I really, really liked this.
To be fair, every week is a pretty nice, digestible little bonus of that, isn't it?
It's the fact that in the first episode, like halfway through the first episode, it's the first time he gets respawned. And he's staring at the fruit cellar and he's like, what just happened? And like he looks really shocked and really surprised. And I think Lewis is rubbing off on me because I said out loud, yes, suffering. and I started realizing I realized that what I was enjoying about it was like I like the story. I also like the fact that it's showing a really realistic depiction of someone undergoing really severe PTSD. And I'm like, yes, I like this.
It's a slow boil, which is also quite nice.
Yeah, the fact that it takes until the end of episode 15 for him to truly snap, I'd argue. But then again, that is a conversation for another day, because I have many choice things to say about episodes 15 and 16 of ReZero, which I consider to be some of the best of any anime I've ever watched.
Swiggity swooty.
I got an erection this week watching an anime that was legally uploaded.
Oh my god, we're doing this!
Ta-da!
Alistair,
Interspecies Reviewers is the finest hentai
Oh, God.
stream.
Right.
It was nice. My piece. Fuck you. My piece. Go on.
It's not like I'm the one that sent you towards this.
And it's not like you spent the first 5 minutes of this podcast talking about your thing. It's my
That's
turn.
true.
You shouldn't have brought it up when you watched Weathering with You. Sorry, buddy. I'm the one who watches more hentai than you. This is my domain. Right.
I'm
Anyway.
listening, bud.
Right, thank you very much, Benny Boy. It's okay. Right, to Hugh's credit, he put me onto this. Although, to be fair, as I later discovered, I actually found a clip of this show on r/hentai gifs before I even knew it was an anime. So I'm well ahead of the game here. Interspecies Reviewers is it's a program set in a fantasy world where there is multiple species. Has anyone else heard of this, by the way?
I know it. I haven't seen it, but I do know it.
I have seen the single picture of like the big boobed cat girl like pushing her hands against a camera.
Okay, yeah, Alistair, is this on your radar?
This is when you would possibly expect it to be on my radar.
Oh boy, howdy, you're missing out, right?
Well, I looked at this show. Like I looked at this. I knew it was a thing. I saw the poster.
Oh my god!
Yep. Oh yes.
And I looked at it, I was like, this is too much, even for me.
Right, let me explain. So, it is a show about a bunch of adventurers it's based on a manga, in a fantasy world where they review brothels that represent different species in the anime fantasy world. Now, this could be a comedy in any other show. It's a hentai. There is everything but showing penis in vagina sexual interaction in this show. Now, Funimation apparently...
I love this so much.
Funimation didn't Google this manga before they picked it up. We are going to still convert this into a dub, and we're still going to stream it. Episode 1, fairly tame, but there are some tits that get censored. Episode 2, this is when we get on to just straight up sex. There is just straight up sex in the show, okay?
There is a fairy sitting on a person's cock telling him not to come.
There is tits and sex, straight up. Episode 3 has a 3-minute black screen where Funimation had to censor it because it was not fit for broadcast, but kept in the audio anyway.
Oh my god!
To put it into context, it's a hyena girl and a futa angel.
It is a futa angel being fucked by a hyena with her massive clit penis.
What?
And then episode 4, Funimation announced that they were dropping the show and were no longer keeping it on their platform because it didn't meet their quality guidelines. Episode 4 features an entire gangbang of succubi before they... I can't remember. Before they end up fucking a salamander woman who has got a meat vagina.
The bit that got me, the bit where I was like, I think I understand completely why this has been cut, because episode 3 don't get me wrong, episode 3
I think I already know why it's been fucking cut,
Episode 3 is banned. In episode 4, there is a bit where a naked succubus is up against a glass wall and is literally banging her bottom half against the wall while screaming for the boys to come and get her. And it's at that point I'm like, I think I know why this show was cut.
No, I'm actually incredulous that it took Hugh that long, because by episode 2 I was like, this is well beyond ecchi now.
Yeah,
this.
I mean, remember you are looking at it from like you already knew it was banned at this point.
I already knew. Yeah, so it's like, okay, so this is already well beyond ecchi. It is the highest quality hentai I think I may have ever seen. It's got great animation work. The jokes are occasionally funny. There's the odd action scene, but who cares? Because there are minute-long indulgent sex scenes in this thing.
Fuck off, you Piccolo wannabe.
And yes, I'll say that there's some nice in-jokes in there. And if I'm being honest, it portrays consensual sex between adults for purposes, with the exception of the halflings, which gets a bit weirdly lolly, but they don't dwell on it for too long. And there is also the the most unfortunate bit of the show is the fact that the maid keeps getting hit on, and there's a bit of sexual assault jokes there, which I don't really like. But the rest of it is perfectly consenting weird sex, and I'm really for this show, and I really disagree with Funimation's decision to ban it and not just put an 18+ rated barrier on front of it.
I think this is kind of where I came from, because I wasn't watching this show until it came through that Funimation had banned it, and I decided, I'm on a podcast, I want to see why. So I went and watched the 4 episodes just for sheer curiosity as to why was this thing banned.
I mean, it was the best like publicity thing that Funimation could have ever done for the show, banning it.
I think the r/anime discussion threads doubled in the amount of people talking about it between episode 3 and
I mean, it worked for me. I watched the show last night. I had an excellent time watching this television program.
See, I can't help. Oh, I'm sure you did. I can't help but wonder the fact that you started it by saying it's streaming legally, but now Funimation have removed all traces of it. So is it now streaming legally on such sites as Hentai Haven?
Yes. Fun fact, it has now been picked up by another legitimate streaming company in Australia and New Zealand who are looking to get it back up and running with an English dub as fast as possible.
Oh, this is amazing. But are they gonna fly over the actors?
Presumably, because the thing is that the woman who wrote the translation was actually really fucking bummed out that it got cancelled, changed her Twitter name, like all sorts of really sad shit, because her translation's really great. Like,
oh, let me guess. I can probably guess who it is, actually.
all the puns are translated really well. There's lots of anglicisms rather than strict, like keeping to the Japanese text. The voice actors and actresses are really getting in on it with all the fucking, like, you know, sexy noises.
I'm sure they are, because they fucking hired porno stars.
Exactly! It knows what it is!
Effort! They're putting it all in for it.
This show knows what it is, okay?
It's unapologetic about it.
I don't hate this like other programs where, like, in other anime it's between non-consenting people. Typically there's like sexual assault themes. Typically there's generally just sort of like ogling and things like that where the two characters aren't involved. These are all consensual characters knobbing each other's brains out. I quite like it.
I think the thing that completely got me about this show, because like you're saying, how did Funimation not look this up to begin with? I was in the exact same boat where I'm like, how did they not realize? Did they just accidentally, like, genuinely just accidentally get hentai and not realize?
Money.
They were just clicking. They were just doing the yes no on like random shows and what to pick up, and then this one just happened to flash up in a pop-up box at the time. Just oops.
I decided to go and look at the manga and be like, is this based on a manga thing? It is based on a manga. The manga has no sex scenes.
Oh well.
No. It doesn't. The anime has added pretty much most, if not all, of the over-the-top stuff.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? Can you imagine the fucking meeting with the? We want to pick up your thing for we want to pick up your manga and make it into an anime. All right, that sounds pretty good, but we have one condition. What is it? Fucking sex scenes.
I imagine the wording would have been something along the lines of, "We'd like to add in an additional scene so that we can reformat it into an appropriate medium.
We'd like to add on an additional scene where we can really get across the feelings of the Futa angel banging the what was it?
Hyena.
The hyena with the meat clitoris. Yeah.
Because unfortunately, that is based on actual hyenas.
I know
obviously.
it's well researched.
How do you
It's
feel?
not, Hugh, it's not weird. It's very natural.
How do you feel about sticking a sausage inside a salamander girl to cook it? And he's like, "What?
Yep.
Wait, what? What? You're like a fucking hot oven?
It's a salamander. It's fire breathing.
Don't say it's like a salamander. I've
Hang
got
on.
a biology degree.
Hold up, mate. It's a salamandra. That's the name of the species.
Oh,
It's
apologies.
half salamander, half girl. And basically, you need fire resistance normally to knob it, but the characters, being really dedicated to the whole sex thing, decide they're going to go cook some meat on her, eat it off of her, and then the food angel goes and fucks her brains out.
It's
Is
terrifying."
this Footer Angel like a recurring character?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
It's one of the three main characters.
I thought angels were supposed to be hermaphrodites.
She's got both. Or he's got both, rather.
Can I say, I only watched this show for the sheer. I had to know why. I had to be in the loop about
Hugh,
it.
you don't have to make excuses. The court has already made its ruling by this point of the video.
I am absolutely. I watched those 4 episodes. I finished the 4th one, stepped back, and went, I absolutely don't want to have to touch this thing again. So I am going to step back.
What was your penis
from...
that sore afterwards?
I
think it's hilarious.
I know it's hello. The concept is hilarious and it's well done at times, but it's also one of those ones where it's like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. And I think the main point,
roughly,
furiously,
yeah, but I think
with a jar of coconut oil.
Oi.
Uh-oh.
I think the question that actually made me think about is, do I actually agree with them censoring it, or like you said, Lewis, just putting it behind an 18+ rating? And I honestly think that to save their money, they probably should have just, they've made their bed, now lay in it.
Yeah,
just make it an 18+
Yeah.
and be like, look, this is what you're getting into.
Put out an announcement saying that you apologise for for showing certain things to potential underage stuff, and then I agree. Yeah, put on.
Yeah, because that still gets you a nice bit of publicity.
They should have made their bed, lay in it, got comfy, got in the hot water bottle, and sat down for one hell of a fucking night as they publicise it and shove it all over the place. Front page of Funimation advertisements, and just get in the whole crowd. Get everyone on board with Funimation's new style as they declare themselves as the new hentai streaming site.
This is a utopia, honestly.
Yeah.
I've just found out which studio's done this as well.
Passionese.
It's Passione.
This is what Giovanna dreamed.
And
I have a dream.
it's the same studio that did season 4 of High School DxD.
Well, now they've done something good.
See, this is the thing, right? Okay, we've all watched violent, television programs. We've all watched Fate Zero, where there's a small child that gets ripped apart by space tentacles, and all I'm saying is that if we're gonna allow such adult-rated themes into our programs, but take issues with sexual themes, we're no better than Americans.
I think that is unfortunately the conversation that everyone has at this point, where it's like why at the age of 18 can you do this, but you can't do this? Can't do this when you're 21 or something like that.
I was about to say that because actually thinking about it, it wasn't until Lewis just mentioned Fate Zero because my mind went to Fate Zero's on Netflix. You know what else is on Netflix? Shows like
Netflix?
Sex Education that show actual, a comedy show that shows actual nudity and obviously fake, but sex happening in it.
Hell, Game of Thrones, The Witcher.
Game of Thrones that shows that. The Witcher shows that. What's the difference between having this on a streaming site and the likes of I forgot the name of the show, but we'll call it Hyena Penis. And
It's a species reviewers.
Is it the fact that it's animated and so there's some kind of questionability about some things in it? But I don't get it because everyone's consent, everyone's of age, everything in it is legal. Is it the fact that because some of them are anthropomorphic, it promotes some kind of bestiality?
Can I make a very controversial statement here? Can I actually? Okay.
Which one of the 5 do you want to make?
There's several, so I'll make multiple if I need to. Okay, right. So I think the only reason we are considering this weird in the anime community is because thus far sexual content in anime has been pretty much exclusively done for hentai. This would be the first time an anime is attempting to do full sex.
No, it's in Heaven's Feel.
Okay, yeah, but I know, but as in showing the actual act.
Oh, like the full thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to make my controversial statement here, which is we're so used to it only being in hentai because whenever sexual content is brought up in anime, it's awkward, non-consensual, and played for laughs.
Yes.
It's one of the three, usually, yeah.
It's always a bit titillating.
Oh, there is a show that has it!
Oh, go on.
Fucking, what's it called? Yosuga no Sora, where he's fucking his sister.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sure, brilliant. Do it. That's fine.
Yeah, it's like there's even the scene where all of his friends walk in on him doing it in the doorway with her.
As long as they're consenting. Obviously very illegal in the UK. Don't do that in the UK.
Yeah.
But in other countries, it's legal between
But
consenting siblings.
I remember that because I remember someone went, "Hey, by the way, watch episode 11 of this show," and I'm like, "All right." And I'm like, "Are you pointing me to the show because it's shit and funny?" And then partway through, I was like, "Oh no, there they are, they're fucking in the doorway." Okay, that's.
In a world where a magical girl site can exist without being taken off, and sex between consenting adults can't be shown on screen, we are in the end times.
What did they pour on her chair?
It was
in
glue.
Magical Girl Site.
It was glue.
Was it glue? It looked like piss.
It's glue.
No, it's just
It's
glue.
glue.
It's just glue.
All right.
Oh, trust me. Me and Lewis are the world leading experts on Magical Girl Site.
It's that funny.
Mm.
And it's like
I will never forgive the two of you for that.
You will.
I genuinely think that this is a fine show. It's titillating to be sure, but other shows get away with it. And I think taking this off the air just shows that anime is not ready to mature in this way, which I find kind of sad because our continental cousins over in Europe are quite fine with sexual content normally and things. It's violence they have an issue with.
French cartoons have got that pretty much down at this point, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that it betrays a very pro-American attitude where we're very fine with quite stark levels of violence in our programming, but we're pretending we're sexually repressed. Let's not be like America. Let's embrace a bit of European culture here. Let's get offended by magical girl shite, make it like...
I was going to say clip and all that.
Let's make fun of magical girl shite for like portraying bullying and not like making light of it, obviously, but portraying it so ridiculously no one can take it seriously. And why don't we take less issue with a bunch of people who go to a brothel and have sex with women for money, which is legal in most countries?
It's weird, but yeah, I kind of do agree with you in that respect. It's just I think it's because it was such a stark. It was the fact that it wasn't really led in. It is one of those just kind of stark.
Yeah, it just went for it. It did
full on.
It was certainly a slap in the face for the.
It went for it with no warning, and I can totally respect
it.
That.
Also wasn't just normal people. I think it completely went for it, and we're going for it with monster girls as well. So it's like, here are cowgirls, here are cat girls, here are feather girls.
They take the prisoners. They really go for it. So, don't get me wrong, this was a bit of a dive into the deep end, but I think it's promoted conversation, and I really do hope that one day another show can include nakedness and sex, and we don't think it's weird, and we just accept that it's a part of human relationships.
Well,
I know it's a quite wholesome ending to be talking about interspecies not being hentai, but I think it's a positive. I think it's a step in the right direction.
I think that's. Me and you had the same conversation last night, where you were like, when I was basically talking to you about this, and I was like, I like, this has made me think about censorship more than anything else, rather than the show itself. Like, the show's hilarious, but the censorship conversation is the one I actually wanted to have.
The censorship thing is weird to me because I know a lot about censorship complaints and stuff, because a lot of, like, for example, when the latest season of High School DxD came out and all of that sort of stuff, a lot of the people who watched it week by week were like, it's great, but we're annoyed at the fact that we get why are we getting the censored versions when the other 3 seasons are up uncensored? And it's especially when this isn't airing on like daytime Tokyo.
Yeah.
We're streaming this, The thing is, apparently, a lot of the stuff when it's airing, maybe Funimation added extra censorship, I don't know, to this, but
they did a lot.
For High School DxD, there were 2 versions of it shown in Japan. There's the censored version, and there's the uncensored version, which gets shown late at night on, after the water closet TV. But Funimation are sent the censored versions until they do the Blu-ray release, when they get sent the uncensored versions. So
just like Asuka's nipples.
I can tell you that in Japan, the way it works is there is a specific TV channel that has made its niche on uncensored versions of a TV show. I don't know the exact one, I'll be honest, but this is again, it's something I was looking up when I was in Japan the first time I went, because I was surprised just how many TV channels there were. But yeah, no, as it turns out, there is one specific TV channel that has made its niche where it will basically take all of the TV shows that have an uncensored version and they will air the uncensored version. Because Japanese TV is very strange in that multiple different networks will actually buy rights to the same show, but they will buy it for different regions. So it'll be okay, Hokkaido gets it on, say, the NTS network, whereas down in Honshu they got it on the ASV network or something on those lines. And so there is this one very specific channel that we're just going to show uncensored through the entire country, and that's their niche. And I think they show it about a day or two after the original showing.
I mean, this all relates back to Japan's quite absurd sexual censorship laws, given how throughout history they were such a sexual society. But hopefully they'll get over that soon. I do find it a bit weird holding the uncensored version hostage until you release a Blu-ray.
I think it's a reason to make them buy a Blu-ray, isn't it? Because it's like, if you want to see this, buy the Blu-ray. Whereas if you can just go on to some kind of TV show or some kind of streaming service, get a VPN and just watch that, then why would you buy the Blu-ray?
Yeah.
I think you're bang. Oh, sorry.
Well, the thing is, I don't know whether it's Japan withholding it on purpose, or whether that's just the thing that they get sent because it's.
Yeah, we don't know enough. We don't know.
The thing is, as soon as Funimation gets the uncensored versions for the Blu-rays and release the Blu-rays, they update it on their website to show the uncensored version.
But at that point, people have already ordered the Blu-ray.
But I think Hugh's right.
Yeah.
Given you look at Blu-ray prices in Japan and see that and the cost of them, and added incentive to buy that is ridiculous. And also the fact of the backup of the joke I made earlier, literally the Sword Art director of the movie maybe if you buy the Blu-ray you'll see us in his nipples.
I thought they did it. I thought.
Oh no, you did.
I thought the point.
No, they did it, mate.
They did
it on a side boob shot. Now, if you Google Asuna's nipples, you will see them.
I always find this so funny. I find this. Can I There's a fucking Gilgamesh meme here where it's sort of somebody using a single sword show Asuka's nipple. Me with Ed hentai. I will show you as many of Asuka's nipples as you desire. I will show you.
Hey,
you can handle.
I'm just saying, Lewis. There have been four artists who have drawn Gilgamesh on different things. Only one.
See, they did show. They did show him.
I will not be putting that picture up on the video.
You can just put a face from interspecies whatever over the nipple.
Stop it.
872.
Oh god, it's done. It's over.
What, we're fucking deleting that but keeping the hentai link? Oh.
You don't have to click it, it will merely persist there. A temptation for you, always.
I do wish to point out that nobody will be able to see this.
I know, so I don't know why Hugh keeps deleting it, because he's being...
How do you know it's me that's deleting it? Exactly.
I don't know, whoever's deleting it.
You can hear my mouse.
Alright.
Well, it's clearly you, Hugh, because no one else cares enough to do it.
So it's definitely not you, in which case it must be Alan. I don't know. Good point.
Why would Alistair delete a hentai link or nipples?
I don't know at this point. Yeah.
I will watch this show when the uncensored version
on a completely separate note, in order to get us off of this weird conversation.
I love how you got salty for not being the one to introduce this, and now you were desperately trying to get me off of it as fast as you can.
Oh no, absolutely. I thought I'd pull off and kind of say, pull off.
I bet you did.
I tried not to snort. I failed. I'm sorry.
Netflix the other day announced when they're actually releasing the shows from last year onto Netflix this year. It is ridiculously
It's like 6
long.
months, isn't it?
It's like 6 months for some of them. I genuinely cannot believe they're
Really?
still doing this. Like, Beastars isn't coming out until like April. High Score Girl 2, which is the one I actually want to see, is not coming out until like June or July. Yeah, and that means
Jesus
it
Christ.
will air on Netflix 9 months after it originally aired in Japan. And I'm thinking that's just ridiculous at this point.
Well, it's the usual.
I know
way.
that Netflix marketed itself on this sort of shit, but like when it's a Netflix original, makes sense. If it's a show that came in the 90s, makes sense. If you have a currently airing program, this is just pride that is causing people to pirate it.
Because I'm getting really annoyed at it, because there's a lot of really kind of cool looking Netflix original series that are coming out in the next year that I'm looking forward to. But I'm also just getting really irritated by the fact that every show that I actually want to watch on Netflix isn't coming out for like 6 months for no discernible reason.
It's almost like you'd be better off not being told about it until it had already aired, and then they go, "Hey, look, we'll have this show coming in 6 months."
Let's build up the hype for a full human trimester.
They've proven before that they can do same week simulcasting because they did it with Violet Evergarden. So why, when they did it with Violet Evergarden, can they not just release a show the week after it's finished? Because surely you get sent the episodes, you can record the dub, and I mean, Funimation and Crunchyroll, they get their dubs out relatively quickly. So why can't Netflix? I honestly do not get it. And I've genuinely come down to the idea that I just think that Netflix's anime department just are very small, and honestly, the company, for the most part, doesn't really care.
See, I don't know, because Netflix puts a lot of gusto into anime more so than other streaming sites do that are just like regular streaming sites. Like, you look at fucking Amazon and they don't care.
Amazon, this is Amazon's second go, and they've discovered that doing nothing is better than trying to do something wrong.
It turns out the way that Amazon have decided is just release it when it gets released and then do nothing else with it.
Yeah, but all Amazon do is they literally get an external translation thing, pump in the subtitles into their regular subtitle system that you have to turn on for every show, the same, and then shove it in like it's any other old show and just get it when it's sent over to them and slap it on their site.
Well, I think Amazon have basically piggybacked on to Funimation. I'm pretty sure Amazon and Funimation have a deal now.
They used to pair.
They're basically like, you can get Funimation now through
there
Amazon.
Are very specific shows, like 1 or 2 a season, that are just on Amazon. I mean, Vinland's it was the big one from last year that was specifically on Amazon. Dororo, again, the other big one, specifically on Amazon, and you can only watch it on Amazon. And to Amazon's credit, they realized the problem with Anime Strike and they didn't push that thing out. You got Prime, cool, you get access to it. It's not the best translation, like you said, Ben. It's just, here's some subtitles, go.
Well, it's because it's included just with Prime Video.
But now we've got Funimation, who doesn't give a fuck about you if you're outside of America, but they care the most if you are inside of America. But now they've just censored the show, and I don't want to say that's going to set a precedent, because this is certainly a unique case, to be fair. But like, I wish they were less US centric.
And then there's Crunchyroll, and their awards are
A lot of
shit.
people have a real problem with Crunchyroll. I'd argue that Crunchyroll are still the best anime streaming service, because at the end of the day, they still keep anime very centric. And people kind of go, "Oh, the rewards suck," and I'll change the player already. At the end of the day,
at least they're trying.
Yeah, at least they're trying. And at the end of the day, who cares?
They're
about
trying, and I'd argue they've not really done anything to really irritate people. And the people that are like, "Oh no, they've done this." Let's be honest here. You're pushing.
Yeah, exactly. I pay minimal amount to Crunchyroll, get HD, have never had an issue with streaming, and get early access to episodes.
The most I've ever had to wait for a show on Crunchyroll is 20 minutes, and that was when ReZero was at the height of its popularity.
Yeah.
And when it came out, it crashed the servers because a lot of people were watching it. And I think I had about 20 minutes and I had to wait for it. And I'm like, That's not the worst.
You know, it must be said, like the fucking awards thing as well. It's like, hey, we've got a whole bunch of creators together. We're trying to make a community. Fuck you, the awards are shit. These are the same people who care about the Oscars, for Christ's sake. Like, you know.
Fuck the
I
Oscars!
think I respect the Crunchyroll Awards as much as I meme them, because at least they're trying.
Exactly, we take the piss out of them, but they are genuinely trying to bring together a community that's been so separate and alone in the West for so long, and just trying to unify them. Exactly, and the fact that they brought in influencers who have already brought people together the first time. Like, you look at Gigax and like some of his initial videos, like the Anime Man stuff and things like that, and you're like, you see comments just like, I didn't know other people liked this shit. Finally, like, something I can actually watch to enjoy this. And inviting people like them over to the awards and bringing in judges of like Super Eye Patch Wolf as well and things, and it brings all these communities together. And people
in the early 90s, there was a television program, and this television program was a television program, and it made me feel an emotion. This is the story of Bigata H-Kai.
It's the fact that every single time the awards come out, there's a problem, but they try and fix it the next year. So the Yuri on Ice Awards, they realized that they were dealing with a lot of recency bias. So then they made the awards a month later, and they tried to include more awards from different streaming services. Then it became the My Hero Academia Awards, and they realized that the issue was becoming that they were nominating specific shows a bit too much in the specific categories, and they were leaving it too much up to the people. So then they got in specific judges, and it was still the My Hero Academia Awards, because they realized that, again, they were still suffering from the every single category we're going to nominate the same X many shows because those were the ones we remember. This year, I think they've gotten it really correct in that they have got a very, very nice spread. They've changed up the award nominations. They've changed up the awards they're giving, and it's a nice mix between people and the judges. And yes, it's going to be the Demon Slayer Awards because that's the popular show this year, and it was a good show as well, but it's not the worst. It's not the most memeable thing in the entire world.
It's always going to be the most popular show award.
That is kind of the point, isn't it? At the end of the day,
But that, which, yeah, it is kind of the point. But you've also got like some of their picks this year, and this is my biggest fault. Like, we joke and say the awards are shit based on previous years, but they are trying.
Hey,
their hardest.
Devilman won Best Anime. Like, they have some.
It did. Devilman won Best Anime. But the thing is, this year, my main complaint, and honestly, the only real one I can pick when I was going through the awards and stuff, what is the fact that some of them feel like they picked 3 that are like, yeah, these are good options, and they went, oh, we need 6.
3 more for the sake of picking female. the one that the couples one is the one that has the biggest problem with that, where they pick
the couples one blows my mind because they pick Historia and they pick Historia and Yamiya, despite the fact Yamiya isn't in the series. They're not on screen to you. There is a single letter that actually confirms that it was a ship, and that it lasts 2 minutes.
They also nominated Kaguya and Shirogane from Love is War, despite the fact they're not a couple yet.
See, yeah, they're not a couple yet. I get that, because I remember arguing against that before with you, but I think that was kind of, I was mixing their awards with ours. Because in ours, it was just best pair.
I do think the pairing one really does show off, because there are some I look at and I'm like, come on, you know that this is here to pander or this is here to fill a space. And that, I feel, is the issue they're having at the moment. Again, they're trying, and I appreciate them trying. I really do.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to get around if you say, like, oh, we need 6 nominees. I mean, the only way around it is basically, if there aren't 6 things that were good enough, you just don't have 6 nominees.
But my autistic symmetry,
I mean, that is literally what the Oscars does. I mean, look at things like Best Documentary at the Oscars. If there's not enough good documentaries, they just nominate like 4.
They just give it to Louis Theroux.
Yeah. That's another thing. The anime didn't get nominated at the Oscars again this year. No one cares, but I thought I'd point it out.
It never will.
I mean, it literally nominated Mirai last year, but sure.
Mirai was the stupidest choice
I really
for last
liked
year.
Mirai, and we've had this conversation on the podcast.
I'm not saying it's a bad show.
It was the
I'm
highest
saying
profile
it was
anime of the year within America, hence it got the nomination. The thing is, Your Name should have got the nomination the year before, and this was essentially to make up for it.
Well, I'm assuming, it was nominated for Best Animation, wasn't it?
Best Animation, Best Animated Film. It lost to... Oh, God, what did it lose to?
I'm assuming something Pixar.
No, it didn't.
Finding Dory.
Whatever. It lost to something. It definitely it lost to one of the Americans.
I mean, I'm pretty sure basically Pixar or Disney win it like every year.
My internet just disconnected again. Are we actually now unironically talking about the Oscars?
We are unironically talking about fuck the Oscars.
That's 3 times now, Ben.
I'm gonna do it sadder each time.
No, I don't know.
Speaking-
Speaking of a really
Speaking
bad
of a way
segue,
out.
does anyone else have something to talk about?
It was a really bad segue.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Go
Okay,
on then.
Go on then, Ben! Why don't you fucking lay it on us then?
I've been watching 2 shows recently. I would like to quickly talk about one that I imagine no one's really seen, and another one that people may have seen because it's being talked about because it's airing.
Alright, Ben, you're not going to make a covenant
You are
right
not
now.
going to explain the plot,
Alright.
nor the first episode. You're going to give a quick. You are going to give a quick
Thank you.
synopsis in around 15 to 20 seconds, and if you go over that, me and Lewis are going to buzz you.
Alright,
Both
which
of
one's
them.
this for?
You have 20
Both,
seconds.
or-
I have got a timer up, which means that you can tell me when you're ready, and I will start timing you. When it hits 20 seconds, me and Lewis will start going,
Alright, sure.
and you will stop. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Begin.
I've started watching Lupin the Third, and why the fuck are more people not talking about this show?
7.2 seconds.
How old is it?
It came out in the 70s initially, and is still going in various different series. There's 5 main series and several spin-offs and movies, and holy fuck, it's amazing.
I guess it's the same reason why nobody has watched classical anime anymore.
Well, no. The thing is that it got a revival almost with series 4 and 5 coming out on Crunchyroll.
Lupin the Third Part 4 is exceptional.
It's amazing. It's absolutely astounding. It's a great show. It's so Cowboy Bebop-esque, and the characters are fantastic, and the animation is brilliant. The soundtrack is fucking jazzy and stylish as hell.
Lewis, before you wander, it's about a master thief who steals things.
No, I assume it is based off of the original Arsène
It's his
Lupin.
great grandkid, which is why he's Lupin the Third. And it's just his cohorts that go with him.
Is it still set in France?
The series are different per. So first series is around the world. Second is also around the world. Third is localized, can't remember where. Fourth is Italy, and 5 is France.
Does he still have those god awful sideburns?
He does still have the god awful sideburns, and he's also got his ridiculously hairy hands.
He drives around in a yellow Fiat 500, and I absolutely love it.
It's fucking great, and Jigen's the best, as every time Fujiko shows up, he's like, nah, she's just here to scam us, I'm fucking out.
Have you seen, Ben, just talking about Lupin the Third, have you seen trailers for the 3D
Lupin the Third, the first?
Yeah, the 3D animated movie, which looks
amazing.
Really, really high quality.
It looks so fucking good.
I was really surprised because Japan and 3D animation don't usually mix particularly well. If you've got time, go and watch the trailer for the new Lupin the Third movie. It looks like it's a Pixar movie.
It does.
It's that good animation.
It's
really fabulous. I was surprised. From a 3D industry that has tried to remake the original Pokemon movie and made it look awful. I didn't have any faith in 3D animation movies, and this is it's a good one. It looks a good one.
It looks fantastic, and it looks fluid. It looks really Pixar. It does look Pixar, but I don't have a problem with that because it's Pixar with the Lupin style, and I fucking adore the whole style and everything around it because it's such a perfect mix of comedy value, seriousness, darkness, sadness. The episodes are such a brilliant mix, and they're episodic, so you can just pick up any one and watch wherever you want and just have a great fucking time. I watched watched all of Series 1, the best episodes that people recommended from 2 and 3, and then straight into 4 and smashing through that, and then went through the woman called Fujiko Mine, Jigen's Gravestone, Going on Spray of Blood, and Fujiko Mine's Lie as the movies, and those are fucking astounding. Like, the fact that they're so much darker than the series, and they're so fucking good, and the animation direction on them is stellar. Like, it has probably the best gunfight I've ever seen in anime, and one of the best sword fights I've ever seen in anime as well, in 2 back-to-back movies, and this from a fucking show that's usually just an episodic fun fest like Cowboy Bebop. It's stellar.
It's one of those shows that is doing what Conan the Detective, or Detective Conan's doing, in that it just every so often goes, right, here's a good movie. We're carrying on with the series in the background, but here's just a good movie.
Here's a good movie. You don't even need to watch it to continue the series.
No,
It happened, it's done.
And it's not even like, here's a movie that we've kind of crapped out. It's not like, oh, the new My Hero Academia movie, Two Heroes, is on Netflix, and Jesus Christ, is it bad? Like, it's not like they've just kind of crapped one out for the sake of crapping one out. They do go like, yeah, we've taken some time, we've made a good movie. Here you go. Now we're going back to the TV series.
It's the same show that has an episode based around a fucking time traveler, a man who has invented a fucking time machine, and just goes, fuck it, I'm gonna kill Lupin's ancestor in 3 days. And then just the stupid antics and bullshit around that, and tricking him into thinking he's gone to feudal Japan to kill the ancestor when he's not. And it's just like
good.
That level of bullshit, to then the next bit, you are watching one of the most well choreographed sword fights you've ever seen, and you see a slow-mo bit of a guy's axe cutting into a person's muscle and flesh and just tearing off part of their arm while they cut his arm off while remaining still, and just like you see the meat carve like a butcher would, and you're just like, how does a show do so well in so many different aspects?
Because they care.
They do.
I think that's the point.
They care so much, and it shows in the intros. It's had the same fucking theme song remixed since the fucking 70s for their intro, and every single one is so stylish and fantastic. And you just watch it, and it's like, I don't get why this isn't as talked about as the likes of Cowboy Bebop in the West.
For realsies though, fucking like taking notes off of Devilman there. It's because it's a legacy show. Like that'll be it. Because like Cowboy Bebop was actually aired in America with the dub as it came out. This is
this was aired on American TV dubbed.
All right, I'll go check this out in which case, because I need to go and understand the cultural zeitgeist. Is Herlock Sholmes in it, by the way, or an ancestor?
I do not believe so. No.
There is the ancestor of the guy of a detective in France.
Right. Yeah, fun fact. First ever copyright case was in Lupin, the original story, where the writer of Lupin had his arch nemesis just be Sherlock Holmes. Not with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's permission, just made Sherlock Holmes. Mm-hmm. He complained and said, no, you can't do that. Then they invented the concept of copyright, and so he invented Arsène Lupin's main enemy, Sherlock
Holmes. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yes.
Ben, what's the second show you're watching then?
The second one I'm watching is Keep Your Hands Off Isaacon.
Hey, my boy. Let's not talk too much about this, because obviously we have got seasonal anime coming in.
Are we doing a seasonal anime cast?
I believe we will be doing a seasonal anime cast.
In which case, I will back the fuck off and wait for next podcast. I will simply say, watch it.
I will be with you, Ben, when I will say that I believe that Keep Your Hands Off Aizon-mon might be the best thing airing right now.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you, Hugh.
I've not heard of it.
Me neither.
It's a show about 3 girls who want to make anime, and it's amazing.
What's
Crunchyroll? I'll show you later.
Crunchyroll. Cool.
Okay. It's good. It's a love letter to making anime, and I like it.
And the effort that goes into it, and everything about it.
It's good. We will talk about it in more detail during the season cast. So stay tuned.
Sit,
viewers.
Ben, sit.
Listener. Yeah, I was going to say listeners, viewers, people, whatever you want to call yourselves. Anyway, thanks.
Future Alisters.
Future Alisters. Thank you for listening. Anyway, I assume we're done. Please.
This is now where we segue into the opening of this recording, which I asked to be included at the end. So enjoy your special feature, kids. Can we open with that preamble?
No.